Virginia, boy, they shot, what did they, I don't even remember, actually, I already forgot, almost 60% from three. Guys that's what they do, we let them do it, so they really played well, made us kind of on our heels. We didn't play so well. I'd be remiss not to talk about Reniya, just huge minutes, just a great job. I would have loved to have been able to give her a rest and regroup her a little bit, regroup our team, but with foul trouble, we were unable to do that. So that's just kind of with all the injuries, that's just our life right now. But a lot to learn from. Again, a really good team, and a good team today, I should say. I'm trying to become a really good team, and we'll just keep getting better.
But the perimeter defense in the last two games has been an issue. But they both Miami and Virginia today just made some crazy shots as well.
Yeah, I don't think our perimeter defense has not come up at all as an issue. When I look back to the Miami game, all but two of them were incredibly contested and at least 3 feet outside the arc. As I told these guys at halftime, if they're going to shoot 6 for 8 from three on open threes, you're going to get beat. That's just a part of the game, right? I think their ball screen coverage, we were undisciplined at times. There will be almost every third possession there'll be an undisciplined either offense or defense response, and so I think Alyssa, we can certainly call out Alyssa and Deja. I think they play really hard, but you have to be able to play disciplined when things aren't going your way, and I don't think they did that today.
Kimora Johnson, I think 2 weeks ago,
So
really,
great.
You guys shut her down. What was the difference today?
And she had 35 at Florida State.
Mhm.
I mean, she's a freshman that is just playing really well, and that's the nature of the game. You have ebbs and flows, and she's playing really well. She was highly efficient. She's playing with a lot of confidence. Again, we gave her 2 layups to start the game by not doing what we need to do. And so it allows you to continue from your previous game as opposed to create a new identity each game. So our defensive breakdowns were certainly on us, and then we had to ride that through the rest of the game.
You might have expected that, but Brunel making.
Oh yeah, that's what she does. And she didn't shoot at a high percentage over yet at her career, but I think she had at least 5 threes last time we played them here. I mean, that's what she does. I think Liz was confused at times on how we were defending ball screens, and so we lost her a few times, and that's what she wants to do. So that's not to our strength either.
Alyssa, how would you contrast the difference between the first quarter and a half when you guys were shooting had some of the best shooting of the season to the fourth quarter where nothing seemed to get going offensively?
Yeah, I mean, in the first quarter, we're moving the ball really well. We were making our teammates' jobs easier by getting them the ball when they were open. And big shout out to Tin because she just hit some big shots throughout the game and kept us as steady as she could. But then in the fourth quarter, when you're down, you're trying to get a quick score, and so sometimes that sacrifices a better look. So that's just a tough thing to balance when you're down.
Reniya, you played most of the fourth quarter with 4 fouls, and it's no secret you guys don't have a whole lot of guard depth right now. How, I guess, conscious of you were that of having those 4 fouls, and how tough was that sort of navigating the fourth
when you're
quarter?
trying to win, you really don't think about fouls. So I think just having the mindset of trying to win and getting the win, you really don't think about that. So I really wasn't thinking about it.
How used to are you now? I mean, you started the first game of the season against Gardner-Webb. Then, injuries, things kind of shake up as the season goes along. Now you're back in the starting role, have been for the past few games. How sort of comfortable are you now sort of in this role?
Shout out to my teams and my coaches that really made me, very comfortable, in the system. So I'm just keep doing it each game and just keep getting more comfortable.
And you started out really hot, and you talk about the beginning of the game and the momentum early on when you guys built the 13-point lead. What was going right?
Honestly, we were just being disciplined, like she said, moving the ball well, getting each other shots, and I think as the game kept going, we just kind of got a little bit complacent. I feel like we didn't really do what we wanted to do. We let them do what they wanted to do, and I think that really messed us up at the end of the game.
Coach, this is really, you're about to get into the tough stretch of your schedule. You got State, Tech, Duke. How do you, I guess, learn from this, but quickly on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, we know, gosh, listen, I've been doing this a long time. We know that every game matters, right? And so is it a tough game at the stretch of the game? I think with how Virginia played today, there's not much tougher teams, right? And how Florida State, with how they played when they played us, what I'm happy with is we've not lost the game because the other team didn't play well. They had to play really well to beat us, right? And so who's next? We've got NC State on the road. That'll be a really tough game, right? We know that. And then whoever's next, that'll be tough too. And just like Virginia was tough. This is not a group that overlooks opponents. And I said last year, 4 wins, 4 losses wins the league. And I don't know what number it is this year, but you know, we know that every game on our schedule is hard. Beating Miami at home is hard. Beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame is hard. Ask these guys. So, you know, I don't fear the rest of the schedule. I respect every opponent in our conference.
Yeah.
Was there any sense that maybe looking ahead to those games?
Not at all.
After having beaten Virginia 2 weeks earlier?
No, if there was, I kind of in a way, I wish it was easy to say, oh yeah, Alyssa, you didn't get your guys geared up for the game, or you didn't focus, or you didn't pay it, or you didn't lock in, or you have some sort of internal, like this group does things the right way, totally prepared, totally locked in, played their ass off, you know, do all the things that you'd expect from a really good team. We became a little bit undisciplined. They made a lot of shots, and then that kind of put us on our heels a little bit, and then we missed some easy shots and had some key turnovers. Alyssa had 5. We had too many turnovers. We had 17 turnovers. That's just too many for a team that averages a lot less than that. And so you add the turnovers, and they're great shooting, and you're not gonna win that game, right?
So talk about undisciplined. You mainly talk about the turnovers. What else are you talking
all
about
of
there?
it. Like, we just weren't disciplined across the board. We weren't disciplined in our ball screen defense. We weren't disciplined in our might have been one more slide. You know, it wasn't egregious, but it's not again, I've coached a lot of teams. I've been a head coach for a long time, and it's just there's no wavering on this group's sense of purpose. I don't have to rah-rah them. I don't have to yell at them. I mean, there was no lack of effort for anyone who watched that game, or any lack of they don't fear anybody, and they also respect everybody. That's just how they're wired. It's awesome.
Alyssa, what can you learn from a game like this?
You can learn a lot. I think the biggest takeaway is, like, again, it's kind of overused right now, but discipline. Discipline is huge, and it's something that we don't take lightly, because that's what works for us, is locking into what we need to do, and so that's the biggest takeaway for me personally.
And that's not been an issue for most of the season. Am I right? The discipline?
No, not necessarily.
I think they played well. I think it would be, I get how you got to write a story, but to try to say it's, Liz didn't do what she was supposed to do, or, I mean, they played really well. I mean, they really did. They shot 11 for 19 from 3. They made 11 threes, only taking 19. I mean, if they take 25, that would still be impressive, right? And then they shot 57% from the field. They went to the free throw line 28 times. That was really tricky, how, the ref, how the game was being called, so that forced us to have to go to zone some, and, so when I say discipline, it's because I have high expectations for our group. If we had played a little bit more disciplined, they might have beat us anyway today, to be honest. It's a good team. So I don't think I think the story is really more about Virginia. Sorry to say that we're not Virginia, but I think the story is more about them than us at this moment.
Tough playing the fourth quarter without Indy. She goes out pretty
Yeah,
well.
I mean, again, that was, a lot of those fouls were undisciplined. I mean, she left her feet on a counter move. We wanted to finish over length. She got an offensive rebounding foul when she had 4 fouls. I mean, it's just undisciplined, right? And so she puts us in that position. That's, again, that comes down to discipline. You could say, well, at least she's playing hard. It's like, yeah, because that's what my guys do. They don't, overlook anybody. They're not like, I don't care, we'll see how this goes. They go balls to the wall. Love it, right? But there's an element of discipline that, that they didn't have, and it might have only been a few times for Alyssa, a few times for Reniya, a few times for India, but they add up over time. When another team is at home, the refs are calling it in the way they are. They make 11 threes, and there's a lot of other things. We probably played other undisciplined games and won those against very good teams. They just didn't. They weren't Virginia at home that day. Cool.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.